What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Top Flight Pod. You know what it is. You know what we're here to do. Back on screen today, another midweek episode of the Top Flight Pod. I'm your host, Hernan. A lot of you know me as H. I'm joined today by the likes of Eric, the topic and stat contributor of the Top Flight Pod. A lot of you might already know him, met him. He was the guy with the Inter Miami jersey at the watch party. I mean, the audacity of wearing an Inter Miami jersey to an Austin FC watch party, but that's him. We're also joined by my G Neff, who's rocking the Real Madrid kit. What's that from 2023, Neff? 2022?
Last year's.
Last year's. It's beautiful.
Year's.
Absolutely beautiful. That's from the Austin Peña, right?
Yes, sir.
Real quick, Neff. Quick. Right now that the spotlight is on you, you're very involved with Austin Real Madrid. What can you tell the listeners about the stuff that you're involved with La Peña?
Yeah, I mean, and anybody that loves to watch Real Madrid and wants to meet other Real Madrid fans, we have a group of people that we gather to watch every game possible, even the early ones sometimes. Right now we're in the process of forming a membership, so that people that want to join, there will be lots of benefits, including club benefits, which will be coming mostly during preseason. This preseason, we got to meet the likes of Roberto Carlos and Emilio Butragueño, which are part of the benefits that could be you next season.
Question
so stay
now.
On the lookout for that.
Question: did you verify it was Roberto Carlos? It could have been a lookalike. Did you verify? Did you see his thighs?
2 times.
How did you check IDs? What's up?
We checked everything.
Yeah. All right. Well, yes, if you're listening to this episode and you're interested in Real Madrid, if you're a big fan and you're from Austin and you're wondering, man, I really want to get together with a lot of Real Madrid fans to watch the game because you're very passionate about this team, reach out to my G Neff. Follow him on Instagram. Where can they find you at, Neff, for the Peña?
They can find us at pm.atx on Instagram. That's where we're most active. You can find all the information about watch parties and stuff right there.
Okay, all right. We're in the Real Madrid jersey. We got Eric with the Manchester Football Critic with the Vino Tinto jersey, and then I got the Austin FC No Comply collab. So this is like the perfect setup for a Top Flight Pod Skype version. I guess we got Venezuela jersey, a Man United jersey, a Real Madrid jersey, and of course, Papa, Austin FC. Papa, look at this. The real king right here. The real king. But Football Critic, how you doing, mate? Welcome to the episode tonight.
I'm good, man. Thank you. Yeah, I'm wearing this jersey because we won today. We beat Paraguay on the World Cup qualifiers. We're starting good, where we just gained our confidence back, and this is going to be a good year. We want to have that aim of being our first World Cup in history, being here in the U.S., Mexico, and Canada, and with hopefully Danny playing for us.
With it being in the U.S., big possibility for Danny Pereira playing. For the Austin FC fans out there that know your involvement with La Vino Tinto, your expertise with La Vino Tinto, what can you kind of tell us right now? Especially there's a lot of questions being asked. Why didn't Danny get called up to this September friendly fixtures? Do you have an answer to that?
Well, yes. First, they were not friendly. They were the World Cup qualifiers.
You're right. Thank you for that.
But he basically didn't go because of the same problems that he has had since the beginning, right? I mean, at this point, we know there's a lot of stuff going on. Like already, we're far into the process of getting him out of that situation. When I say we, I don't include myself. I'm just saying the club, like Austin FC. We're far into that. He is hopefully soon to have that problem solved. Probably not this year, though. I do have information that might not be this year, but it's close. It's coming close. So it definitely, the aim right now should be definitely Copa America next year in the U.S. And the next qualifier games, not this year, are September, October, and November of 2024. So hopefully by then we'll have Danny with us.
Now, 2024, is Danny Pereira still going to be an Austin FC player, or will he be in a team in Europe? That's a big question right there, mate. I mean, you don't have to answer that. I know you know things, but you don't got to answer that tonight here on the Top Flight Pod. Now, one more person we have to introduce. We haven't heard from him. Kind of skipped over him a little bit. My G Eric with the Man United jersey. Now, Garnacho, your boy today, we talked about him earlier today. He's now cap tied with Argentina, if I'm not mistaken. He completed his 3 games or whatever. So, how are you doing tonight, mate?
I'm doing good. I enjoyed not having to watch a Austin FC football match on the weekend.
Well, it's back. It's back Sunday, bro. So I don't know what you're gonna do.
Unfortunately, but it was good. It was good. I mean, I'm happy for Garnacho. I'm happy he brings that motivation. You know, his post of El Rey, Messi, the real GOAT.
Yeah.
But you know,
Wow.
it's been a good while. Just one football.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Now, crazy how Man United fans have to settle to find happiness in the likes of Garnacho being captained with Argentina because their club is an absolute rock bottom right now.
Ambush.
I'm praying for Man United fans. Every Man United fan out there, if you're listening to this, know that I'm with you emotionally, spiritually, and if you need somebody, reach out. Man United fans, I know what you're
No,
going through.
you're not.
I'm sorry.
No.
All right, now, boys, enough on the, I guess maybe European and international talk for just a little bit. We'll come back to it. I want to talk about Austin FC related things now. Obviously, this is what we're here to do. But before we get into that, obviously, got to send a shout out to the boys. Shout out to Bali, B, Primo. They will be back soon for the episode. Bali is back. Everything is settled. We're good. But he is enjoying this little bit of time off. Obviously, we have Portland coming up, and Bali. Primo is back in the United States from his trip in Europe with his wife. The pictures look absolutely beautiful, and we'll see what stories he has for us on one of the next episodes where we'll have Primo. He was going to be here tonight, but he said that he was very tired and he still has to unpack. So I was like, Primo, you do a lot for the pod. Take it off. We got a bunch of guys here tonight. We got Critic, Eric, and we got Neff. So now that we got that out the way, shout out to the website, Scott, my GJC, we're STV.com, writing it up out there in Football Critic as well. And I think that's it. I think we're good. All right, let's get into the show. Now, we introduced everybody. Now let's get into some of the topics we got. Now, last episode, we started off with a bit of Austin FC news, and I think that was pretty cool. So I want to get into it this episode in the same kind of, same kind of mood, same kind of structure, I guess you could say. So a couple things have been happening with Austin FC. There's been movement, there's international call-ups, and there's also departures. Now, the first one I'm going to touch up on is Bobosi, Villarruanga, Bobo, and obviously the Ugandan Cranes. Now, bit of a bitter end to the game, even though they beat, I forget who they beat. They won 2-0. If one of y'all can bring that game up real quick. They did play. They won 2-0, but in the end, since Algeria and Tanzania, they tied 0-0. Uganda saw themselves eliminated from the group stage. But here we have Villarruanga played 89 minutes in Uganda's African Cup of Nations qualification match, earning his 16th career cap. The Cranes won 2-0 against Niger in Morocco and fell 1 point shy of qualifying for AFCON this winter. Now, that's from the Austin FC website. More here, the 21-year-old Villarruanga drew 3 fouls, made 4 interceptions, and completed a successful dribble during the game. Villarruanga, who's 21, has made 15 previous international appearances for Uganda, including 6 in 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. He played 45 minutes in Uganda's most recent AFCON qualification match against Algeria on June 18th. He is the first Austin FC 2 player to have earned a senior international call-up, while 11 players on the roster have experience at the youth international level. Now, that's from the Austin FC website. Shout out to that writer. Got to give them their credit. But Football Critic, real quick, I want to get your take on Bobo. Main question. Obviously, he is one of the biggest talents coming out of Uganda right now. He's getting international senior call-ups at an FCito level, which is massive. Is he a guy you would like to see in the first team in the future?
Yes, absolutely. You know, part of having an academy or having an FCito team is to have those those youngsters develop.
Mm-hmm.
However, you gotta keep in mind, like, although we don't have to rush anyone, you know, the guy's already 21. It's an age where you want to start playing him with the main guys, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to wait until he is 23, 24, 25 to start in the main team.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely on the side of having the youngsters try and take some experience when they can, however possible, with the main club, starting it at 2021.
Yep.
You know, Danny did it, Keller did it, Owen Wolf did it.
CJ Fowler is starting to do it.
He's starting to do it too. So all of these guys, we cannot wait because I'm seeing like Jesus Bueno, for instance, in Philadelphia Union. He's a Venezuelan, but he's 23 years old. He's now barely starting, and he's been scoring and assisting, but he's starting to do so at 23. Where right now Danny's 23, and we're talking about sending him to Europe. You know what I mean? So we got to take advantage of that age gap.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Now, real quick, just Neff and Eric, do you guys agree with that take? I want to go on to the next topic, but I want to hear what y'all think on Mr. Bo. I mean, he's obviously impressing, I guess you can say, but obviously a little bit of more work for him to do there. Any thoughts, Neff?
Oh no, I agree 100%. I mean, if anything, the one thing I want to touch on is the age. You know, having these players start at 21 or even 24, 25 with the first teams, it's a little old. I mean, I guess if all you're aiming for is an MLS career, then I guess that would be more okay. But
Don't
I mean,
disrespect the
anywhere else.
MLS. Do not disrespect the MLS
I'm just
because
saying,
nowadays,
if you're staying in one league, starting at 24, 25, it's not bad,
yeah,
right? I mean, you go through all the ranks, but typically you want to start your career at 18 or even if you can before that, at a senior
100%.
level at least.
100%, but you don't want to disrespect the MLS career when you have players from all over South America fighting for a spot in a starting roster in one of the teams
It's
here.
a Division One, and that's understandable. But that's what I'm saying is for players of a I don't want to say higher caliber, but typically other leagues typically start their players at a senior level at a
All right.
younger age. Yeah.
But shout out to Mr. Bobo Villarruanga, Bobosi, very, very talented player with Austin FCito. He got his first goal, I believe he scored against the LA Galaxy 2 team. It was September, August, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check the notes real quick. I don't think I put it on here, but I did see something like that he scored against LA Galaxy too. So shout out to my G Bobo. And also, real quick, one more note before we go on to Micah Burton. We did see that the Ugandan team was in Morocco for that game. There was a horrible, devastating earthquake that happened in that area of the world. There was a tweet that got sent out by the official account of the Ugandan men's national team. I believe they're named the Cranes. They said how everybody was safe. We reached out to Bobo. We told him that, we were very happy for his game, very happy for the moment that he's living with his national team. And we also let him know that, we were praying for everybody that was affected out there. He was very appreciative of that message and happy that he is back and we're ready to get to work. He's a professional player. Now, real quick, Micah Burton, not much to touch up on here, but we do got to mention Burton and the U.S. U17s took part in the Václav Ježek Cup, playing 3 matches against Ukraine, Switzerland, and the host Czech Republic. Burton started in the middle match against Switzerland. This is from the Austin FC website. I did see that they lost the first match. I think they won the second game. The third one, I'm not sure. Do any of you guys know how they did in that third game? Honestly, I had no idea. Football Critic, you have anything on that?
No, I was looking for it, but I couldn't really find the.
I've seen a lot more information on the Twitter of the U.S. men's youth national team. That's such a tongue twister. U.S. men's youth national team, the U17s. But big ups to Mr. Micah Burton. That's another kid from our academy system or our Austin FC2 system that we're trying to get into the first team. I guess you could say we're trying to make it work. He's somebody that's very interesting. I'd like to see him more, maybe like at a cam position, maybe at a winger position, but we'll see what they do with him. Neff, you have any insight on Micah Burton?
No, the only thing that was weird to me is that I'm seeing a lot of people saying he's been playing more at the 9, which is very, very weird to me.
Well, that's what they've been trying him out at. I guess you could say that's where they want to put him at.
I don't see him in that position, especially not at a senior level.
No, not at all. Because I mean, you also got to look at the young man's height. He's not the biggest player.
No, his game's just a lot more creative.
For sure, and I think you have to be. I think you have to be extra talented to make up for the physical part of being that striker. You think. I mean, whenever you think striker, you think Harry Kane, you think Jazzy Zardes, you think Emiliano Rigoni. You think Haaland, you think Ronaldo. Those are big presence in the box. But then you also have Salvador Cabañas, who in his time before his accident was one of the best forwards, the best strikers Mexico had
Chucho
ever seen.
Benitez.
Chucho Benitez, another tragic end to a beautiful career. But maybe size is not
Quintero.
everything. Maybe size is not everything at that number 9 position.
Well, I mean,
but
here in MLS, you got Joseph Martinez, and he's short. The guy's
Yeah,
tiny,
point.
and he was MVP and goal scorer and everything. So
there you go. So maybe you don't have to knock him just yet, Neff. Don't write him
No,
off
no,
just
no.
yet.
I just don't see it because he is definitely a lot more of a 10, right? Or even just as a central midfielder. But
Well, he doesn't play 9
I
here.
would hope if he has it. No,
He doesn't
he
play
does
9
not.
here. He doesn't. I mean, here we have Pinot, AOC, and those guys
Hmm
do the job. Those guys do the job. So, shout out to
He
my
even
G,
needs
Michael
to
Burton.
move to the wing a little more as well.
Yeah. Shout out to my G, Michael Burton. Big career, long career, beautiful career ahead for that young man. So excited to see what he blooms into now. Another Austin FC2 player that I want to talk about real quick, Eric Lopez, departure to Orange County. From the Austin FC website, Austin FC2 announced today that the club has reached an agreement with USL Championship side Orange County SC for the transfer of goalkeeper Eric Lopez. Pending league and federation approval, financial terms of the agreement were not disclosed. Lopez signed with Austin FC2 as a free agent on January 10th. 2023, having previously played for LA Galaxy 2 and in the LA Galaxy Academy. Now, a lot of people didn't really know much about him, didn't really get to play. We didn't really get to see his talents, I guess you could say. That wasn't his fault. The life of a second goalkeeper can be very hard when the guy in front of you is doing a remarkable job, like Damian Loss, a guy that has been the best goalkeeper in the MLS Next Pro League. He is getting shouts for the first team in penalty shootouts. He is absolute monster. He has been a pillar for the success of Austin FC2 this season, and that's no secret. I'm not dropping like any four-dimensional knowledge right now. We've all seen what Damian Loss has been for MLS Next Pro and Austin FC2. So I'm just very sad to see a guy like Eric Lopez, who I think was very talented coming in. I was excited for him. I'm sad to see him go without getting maybe that shot. Now, if you look back at the recent rosters of Austin FC2, you've seen Spencer Sanderson be injected into the roster, into the lineup. Now, that could have been the beginning of the end for Eric, and maybe he was already looking for another team at that moment when we started seeing Spencer Sanderson. Now, he's another young kid coming in from the academy ranks, so that's just Austin FC 2 doing their work with the young players, promoting them up to higher ranks, possibly with the first team finish, I guess you could say. Now, boys, any thoughts on the quick and short career with the Austin FC2 of Mr. Eric Lopez?
Fortunate.
Unfortunate?
Yeah.
Yeah. It sucks. Like, knowing from keeper to keeper, yeah, it sucks. Like, just having to sit on the bench and know that the guy in front of you is just so good and he's on his, like, not even on the level of getting into his peak, but he's going to go to his peak level. That's just you, and you can't do nothing about it. You can't. The harder you work for it, you're just not gonna get a shot. You watch him play, you look at this amazing saves, PK saves. You're like, nah, he's smart for leaving. That's really smart for him to leave because he can show his potential somewhere where it's needed. You know.
That's a really good take. Shout out to my Jarek on that one, boys. All right, we're gonna move on to the next talking point here on the Top Flight podcast tonight, which is the Julio Cascante and Costa Rica international games. Now, something very important on the schedule for tonight's episode, obviously, is one of the high points of the break for Austin FC. Now, Julio Cascante got the call up for Costa Rica. Costa Rican defender Julio Cascante made his second and third international appearances, showcasing his aerial power with a thunderous header to secure his debut international goal during a friendly match against the United Arab Emirates, UAE, in Croatia. I believe it was in Zagreb. Interesting stadium, too, on September 12th. That was today. They played, this episode is being recorded Tuesday. They played today in the morning at 10 a.m. Now, very interesting game. They obviously lost 4-1. Some incredible goals. I believe it was the third goal. That was a banger from 40 yards out. I mean, I don't know if it had a deflection, but Navas gets beat and the ball just drops right before it goes into the goal. It was an insane strike, mind-blowing strike, but I do want to give them a little bit of flack. Maybe want to cut him a break, I guess you could say, because the Costa Rican national team, and this was reported by Michelle Sanchez. She's the one that brought it onto our timeline on Twitter. She had screenshotted a story by Joel Campbell in the airport, and in that story he was saying 10 hours at the airport and we're still not there, or 10-hour layover and they were still not there. Now, a lot of us, maybe everybody that has listened to this pod, has gotten on an airplane at least once, and if you ever experience a layover, I mean, if you get that jet lag, the next day is absolutely atrocious. It is the worst. Now, Costa Rica, the boys could have been suffering maybe something like this. But here are the stats, and there were very few before we get my J Football Critics' take on this. Now, it was 4-1. Goals for UAE were by Ghassani, minute 16, Cayo, minute 23, Salmin at minute 38, and Ghassani completed his brace at minute 53. And, of course, Cascante, our boy, my G, minute 64, he scores his goal, and it was a beautiful header. We got to give credit to the power he got behind it because he was far out. If I'm not mistaken, he was at the penalty spot or beyond the penalty spot, and he still got enough power behind that header to get it low and past the keeper, who was the captain, if I'm not mistaken. So he wasn't mid, or maybe he was mid, but he was better than everybody else if he got that captain badge on him. But Football Critic, there wasn't that many stats and information on this game. I'm not sure why. The Saudi game was much more detailed, and we're going to get into that in a bit. But Cascante did play 90 minutes, and the match rating was weird. I saw a 5.9, but it wasn't conclusive. Anything you can add on this game, Football Critic?
No, I mean, if we're looking at for our guy Cascante particularly, I don't think I can blame him for anything. I mean, sadly I couldn't watch the game, but if you're saying there were wonder walls, it was an intense game. Even not even now, I could get to it. It's hard to blame a single defender for it, right? And I think what we saw is what we're used to, kind of in Austin. We're seeing an average center back, not outstanding, not perfect, but just okay, with offensive qualities, which is what Wolf loves about him, right? I saw that goal, that header, and my God, it was beautiful. It had a lot of power. It was perfectly, like, he ran perfectly, timed it perfectly, and just hit it so powerful. It was great. It seemed like a lot of goals that we have had and we have suffered lately on the Austin FC side, right? So offensively, it was great. Defensively, I just think it was the average center back that we're used to. Again, I don't think this game was, I don't think this is one of those games that you say, oh, 3 out of the 4 goals were on Julio. No, it was just a team performance or wonder goals that hits you.
I have a question for you, Football Critic, because you bring up a very important topic, and it was discussed today on Twitter. Shout out to Maji Jose from Golds TV and Paul from the Verdependent podcast. We're Austin TV. We reposted Julio Cascante's goal on social media, and we got a lot of responses. A lot of people were happy for Julio, but there was some people criticizing the goal. They were saying, they were criticizing the tweet that I had put out from the Austin TV account. I said offensive center back. Right. And some folks, maybe they get upset that Julio Cascante is an offensive center back. We had Jose. He said, yeah, but that's what you pay him for. Right. And so I responded with, can defenders be an aerial threat anymore? I mean, they need to be that. Sergio Ramos, Pepe, Nemanja Vidic, Rio Ferdinand. I mean, the list goes on. Right. The list goes on of defensive center backs that are aerial threats. But my question for you, Football Critic, is do you want more defensive attributes or more defensive actions from Cascante and less offensive, or are you okay with Cascante being a quote-unquote offensive center back?
Are we talking current situation or what I wish for?
Give me what you wish for.
What I wish for? No, I would wish for a more creative or a creative enough midfield and offense that we wouldn't have to depend on defenders heading the ball into the net.
Good point. Now bring me back to earth and give me reality.
Reality is we have no creativity whatsoever in the offense or midfield. So if we can get a goal out of our defenders, we'll take it. At this point, we're in a point that we just need goals, in whatever shape or form they come to us. So yeah.
Now, Neff, I see you over there. You're dying in that chair. Sounds like maybe it feels like you want to say something right now. So maybe you can piggyback off of the question that I asked Football Critic. Are you okay with Cascante being known more for his offensive attributes, or or being known less for his defensive attributes? Your thoughts?
Like a center back is just like any other player. He's gonna be known for what he's good at, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna be good called out for what he's not. Julio,
Okay.
unfortunately, has been lacking that defensive awareness, as
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it hasn't been his best attribute as of late.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that you can say, at least offensively speaking, is one of his best attributes is that aerial threat that he brings to the team. It's
Mm-hmm.
one of Wolves' favorite tactics to use.
So why is it a problem that he is an aerial threat to
It's not
some people? Why is it a problem?
because his defensive qualities have left a lot more to be desired. And
Okay.
when you're attacking more and you look better attacking than you look defending, and your job is to defend, people are gonna call you out for it.
Okay, fair. I mean, if my job is to do A and I do B, I mean, maybe I'll get called out for it. But if B is part of my job scope, then am I not
Oh,
doing my job?
absolutely. No, 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 absolutely. But it's like saying, it's like having a hobby, right? If you're paying more attention to your hobby
Mhm.
than to your job's gonna suffer from it, right? You're gonna hear from your boss. You're
So
losing concentration.
being an aerial threat, offensive center back is a hobby. Is that? I mean, is that kind of the thing you're trying to connect? I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
It's
I
not
just
it's
don't think
not
you're
it's
making the
not
right analogy.
Julio's. Well, perhaps, but it is definitely not Julio's per se job in the team to score goals, right? And
For sure. That's why
it's
we pay
definitely part of
Zardy.
Josh Wolf tactics.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
But he is part of Josh's favorite tactics, So I'm not gonna be one to speak down on Cascante for being an aerial threat. I think it's great. I think it's one of the things that actually, if you want to highlight something on him, that's probably it.
Okay. Now, real quick, before we go to my Eric, and then we'll go to the Saudi game, we'll touch up on that. We'll get Eric's take real quick. Um, I mean, if it's like a regular play and we see this center back push up, problem. Why are you pushing up every single play? But if we're in a corner kick, if we're in a set piece, if we're putting crosses into the box in the 65th minute when he got his goal, you're down 4 goals. I mean, I would like my aerial threats to be up there. I mean, me being a quote unquote aerial threat when I was playing, I mean, coach wanted me up there every corner kick, every free kick, every play where we could get a header in the box. The aerial threats go up. So I do understand folks come out and say, "Oh, he needs to be more of a defensive center back." I get that, but in the moments where center backs can be offensive, if they execute, why is he getting punished for it? Why is he getting called out for it? I mean, center backs don't get many goals. I know that's not their job. I get it, but when it comes, I mean, let it be. Eric, any thoughts on what was said right now?
I love that, hearing every single word about it, but just with his great performance, he's just another Maguire, dude. Maguire.
Oh no, Maguire scored an own goal today. He scored an
No,
own
no,
goal.
no, no, no. World Cup Maguire. Great with his country, trash with his club. That's
That's
disgusting.
disrespectful.
He has no.
Oh, terrible.
I'm not a fan. I don't know numbers, whatever. But what I see with my eyes, he's not offensively like strong. They always go for him, and what does he do? How many goals has he scored that he has easy headers or where he's a threat offensively? None. He gets cooked. He doesn't do nothing. He's not a Ramos. You're expecting a Ramos from him? What are you
No.
expecting from him?
No. I'm just no. I'm just giving this guy credit when he scores a goal, giving this guy his praise. He's performing for his first country. Yes, it was a loss. There was a lot of things going into this game. The layover, their assistant coach died in the hospital during halftime. I believe that's what the story is. I mean, there was a lot of things happening outside of the game that could have been affecting Costa Rica in this match, and yet this player still was up there, got a goal, didn't even get to celebrate it. I mean, didn't even get to celebrate it. They went, got the ball from the back of the net. He goes back, restarts the game. I mean, I'm sure he would have liked to celebrate that goal. I know Cascante is a very emotional player when he does something very positive on the field. He beats his chest. He's there. He's always in the moment. So happy for him, I guess you could say, boys. And now let's get into the Saudi game real quick. Now this one was a bit more positive for Costa Rica, but maybe not so positive for Julio Cascante. Costa Rica did beat Saudi Arabia 3-1. Goals from Calvo, Ugalde, and Leal, who plays for Nashville. Now it's very interesting because a lot of MLS players are starting to get called up for Costa Rica, or at least ex-MLS players, because Calvo, I believe he's in Europe now, but he was with San Jose. He had some spells, I think, with Minnesota and another team in MLS as well. But the coach before, he was paying no attention to the MLS whatsoever. And now that Costa Rica has a new coach, you're seeing guys come from MLS. And apparently Cascante was being called for by the fans for a very long time. So now that he is with the national team, we see a lot of reporters that are asking about Cascante. We're seeing a lot of comments on Instagram asking for Cascante. Also, a lot of tweets coming out saying Cascante, solid first half. Cascante guy, he did pretty good. There was some critics out there that were criticizing Cascante, comparing him to past center back, saying that he wasn't any better. But he is a breath of fresh air for this Costa Rican defense and this team that they're trying to get together, because they're also not in the best in their best moment, I guess you could say. Now, real quick, the stats before we go to my G Football Critic, the stats versus Saudi. Cascante, 90 minutes. Again, 2 full matches for Cascante with Costa Rica. We're going to have to keep that in mind when we talk about Portland coming up next. This one had more details, 6.6 match rating. He only won 1 out of 3 ground duels. He blocked 2 shots, 100% on his aerial duels. Lost possession 9 times. A couple of those were long balls that he didn't complete. 1 foul, and he was also fouled 1 time. He had 42 touches against Saudi with an 83% pass accuracy, and 3 out of 8 of his long balls were completed. Now, one of them was actually very pretty. It was in his highlight reel that he posted on his story on Instagram a couple of days ago. So, Football Critic, your thoughts on the match against Saudi? Maybe some insight on Cascante in that game.
Well, I mean, from those stats, you can say it tells me the game was dominated by Costa Rica, and Julio, it was average. Those are not bad or nor great stats, So he did what he did. He has average numbers for a defender. He doesn't have a lot of interceptions. He doesn't have a lot of duels, a lot of fouls. Like for you to say, oh, he did great or oh, he did bad. No, he has average stuff. So again, solid, regular, average defender that we know playing for this new Costa Rica team that is trying to rebuild.
Interesting take there. Now, Neff, I want your take on this now, because we had talked about this Saudi game after it had happened, and actually when it was going on, a lot of people were criticizing Cascante for his match rating, saying it was low, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I think a lot of people failed to recognize the fact that, it's one of his first time in a while being called up by Costa Rica. I believe last time was in 2015. Could have been a bit nervy coming into a new team. You're playing with Keylor Navas, one of probably the best goalkeepers in CONCACAF history, best goalkeepers in CONCACAF of all time. But the thing that I wanted to mention to you, mate, was you were being maybe a bit critical of Cascante during the game. And I had mentioned how they had a clean sheet. Minutes later, they lost that clean sheet, and you were just saying how that solidifies your point. So I feel like you're more on the side of Football Critic in this, saying that Cascante is a quote-unquote regular player, I guess you could say. I mean, I'm not saying he's an extravagant center back, but I feel like you and Football Critic agree on this.
Yeah, no, I absolutely. Julio, and it's no disrespect to him at all, but Julio does what he can with what he has, right? So I for one, I'm very happy for him being called up again.
Are you really?
For him
Are
playing
you really? I'm genuinely
Yes,
asking.
absolutely.
I'm genuinely asking a chunk of the fan base if they're happy for Cascante being called up to the international team. I'm genuinely asking.
I am on a personal level, yes, because I know that's one thing that he wanted for a long time, right? And maybe I don't know. This is maybe the some fresh air that he needed, right? Maybe this is more motivation for him, to improve, right? And to give better performances so that he keeps getting called, right?
Real quick, Nif,
So
and then I'm gonna let you finish this take. Cascante did mention that playing alongside Keylor Navas is a big boost for him as a player to be better and perform better because you're playing with Keylor. Keylor is right behind you.
absolutely,
Hey,
yeah,
hey, no disrespect to Stu, but that's Keylor. That's Keylor back there.
yeah,
Mira.
yeah,
Keylor. Go ahead.
yeah. No. Having a big player like Kaylor is, with the resume that he has, and if I'm Cascante, I am beyond excited and wanting to do better so that I can keep playing alongside a player like that, right?
100%.
So
100%.
I like I said, on a personal level, I am more than happy for him. Very excited to see, if this actually does bring him the motivation that he needs. Maybe a little extra. So I'm hoping to see even better version of Julio coming up.
Okay, very interesting. Now, real quick, I have a couple questions here on Mr. Cascante, finishing up this segment on his international call-up. I guess this will go to my G football critic, and then I'll get Eric's take here in a bit. But football critic, what did we learn from Julio's call-up? Did we learn anything? Do we know something different now? I mean, or are we at the same spot?
Well, for one, he has great character. Because to be called to your national team after so many years and to play as if you've always been for a long, long time and not being nervous, not screwing up, not anything, I think it says something. It says you're a capable player with the right mindset, that you're there to play. And for some reason, that's why he gets the captain armband at times at our club. He has that character in him. So that I like about him. What also says he's, relatively he's constant with his play. He's even though he's not coming from a good performance lately in Austin FC, you can tell that even at international stage, that guy does what he does. He's the same guy that we're used to. So I'll take on that, and I know that once he comes back, he's gonna keep being the player that we know, and it's not. I don't think he's a Harry Maguire by any means. Like, that's a whole different level in insulting someone. So no, I'm happy with. I'm okay with Julio doing what he did in these international games.
Okay, all right. Pretty good answer there. Now, let's see. Moving on with my questions. This one will be to my G Neff. Neff, the question goes to you. This one is: should he start versus Portland if he makes it back to Austin on time?
I mean, if I feel like it's really up to him, see if how he feels. Playing 180 minutes can be rough. I know he has a long flight back. So also, given the situation of the team, I don't think you can really spare him. So if he's available, I'll start him.
Okay, all right. I mean, if he doesn't start, then it's gonna be Leo and Hedges, which is not a bad partnership. I know some people are very interested in seeing that partnership, take the field. But Cascante, I mean, I'm sure he's gonna come back, maybe feeling a bit more sure of himself. If it was a case of confidence with Austin FC, I'm sure that the goal with his country, I mean, that's something of dreams right there. Scoring a goal for your country on the international stage, that's something of dreams right there. Honestly,
That's gonna be key.
it's gonna be key. And that was my take. That was my whole take going in on the Julio Cascante conversation weeks ago, was the fact that this is gonna be a breath of fresh air. It's almost like a mental reset. He's still working. He's still playing 180 minutes, but these minutes are different. Not only is it different temperature, I mean, come on, it's different than what we're having here in Texas in the past couple of weeks, but it's different teammates, it's different level of competition, it's different drills,
Different atmosphere.
It's everything, bro. So hopefully we get a different Cascante to what we've been having in Austin FC, and I'm very excited for that. Now, the final question I have on him here is, this is very interesting. When I saw this stat before starting the pod, and I had to add it into the notes, according to Tigo TV Costa Rica, he is Costa Rica's fourth most expensive player. Should we consider a sale with all the attention he's getting, all the light that's being shined on Cascante? Or are you all in on Julio moving forward? He's on a big deal. He's getting that money here with us, but he's going to get a lot of attention from a lot of places with his recent performances, maybe with Costa Rica. So I want to start off with my G. Eric. Should Austin FC look for a sale, or should they build on Cascante?
Look for a sale. I mean, Rodo is gonna know what he's gonna do. He sees what on the pitch. He's gonna implement a system that's gonna work with whatever manager it is. Hopefully for you guys, for y'all's sake, not Wolf. But I mean, you guys gotta. I mean, from what I know, y'all broke. So whatever money I can get, take.
We're not broke. Hey, trust me, we're not broke. Our hands are tied. We're not broke.
You guys are relying on what? Diego money? Who knows what's gonna happen there?
All right. All right. Good point.
And for me,
good point.
Going back to a previous question, he shouldn't play. He shouldn't play against Portland. What? Risk another injury at the end of the near season?
True.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, players come back fatigued. They need to have a little bit of break. It's jet lag coming from far away.
Yeah.
Why don't you just give Hedges a try? What if they work better? What if they're strong at the back? What if Julio was the problem?
And hold on. Okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Go back a little bit. He needs a rest. He could use it. 180 minutes extra on his legs, and the layover, the jet lag, just like you pointed out, could be a lot for him. So I wouldn't mind him getting that break. Leo and Hedges, let's get it. Football Critic, Julio on transfer market. And I know that's not a definitive price, but they got him at $2 million. Do you agree with Eric? Should Austin FC look for a sale with all the attention that Julio is going to be getting here shortly, or should we keep on building on an international center back?
Nah, I think we can sell him. This doesn't speak like this is not a comment on I don't like Julio as a defender for Austin FC. I want to get rid of him. No, it has nothing to do with that. It's more like with this rebuild that Roda wants to do and what we need, we're used to. I understand and I value Julio with his qualities, but I am more on the side that I want MLS defense to get better. I'm on that side. I'm all for it. And I want to be one of those teams that can be fructiferous out of a good defense, right? So starting with the back, I want new center backs and I want new quality center backs that can make the team better, be solid in the back, and then we start building up, right? And I want players like Leo to do so. Leo is a young player, tall, with good qualities, that is building inside our team. We don't need someone to get someone, extremely expensive and or very old and experienced like Hedges. No, we can get a 20-year-old someone with different qualities than Leo that can build a chemistry inside our own club and then build from that.
Okay. Solid take, my J Football Critic. I know a lot of people are going to probably agree with that. Now, Neff, you got the final say on this one. Are you going to make it 3-0 or are you going to make it 2-2? Because, I mean, I don't know if anybody's going to come after Julio. I mean, yeah, he is the fourth most expensive center back, but the thing is finding a buyer for him. We still got to find that. So, Neff, do you feel like Austin FC should look for maybe a solution for Cascante in the future? He is getting a lot of attention from a lot of different places. He's valued very high, $2 million according to Transfer Market. And in Costa Rica, he's the fourth most expensive player that they got. So what are your thoughts on this question?
I think you said the right words there. Finding a buyer for Julio. I don't think that's going to be, if you wanted to sell him, I don't think it would be an easy task, to be honest with you. We'll see how the season ends up, but as of right now, I don't think there's going to be too many teams lining up to offer any money for him, unfortunately. However, if Rodo's doing the rebuild, right, that they said we're doing, he's going to have to get the Diego treatment as well. Because he's one of those contracts.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
one of those contracts. Yeah.
and I'm kind of siding here also with Football Critic. Like, you want to bring a young center back like Leo. Could Cascante help with that? Absolutely, but also Cascante is kind of turning into one of those more recognized names on the team sheet, good or bad.
Okay.
So
Interesting take.
he's known now in the team. He's
He's solidified
one of the leaders of
on
the
this team. Solidified, 100%.
Yes, that's the word. Yes.
100%. I think.
So
Just real quick, Nev. I think
yeah.
the day that Cascante is not here anymore, the day that John Gallagher is not here anymore, the day that Brad Stuver is not here anymore, it's gonna be a completely different vibe. Because just like you said, those names, just like Cascante, I feel like they've been pillars. Drusi also throw them in there. You know, those are pillars to Austin FC success that they've had, I guess. But finish your take.
No, just like you said, it's perfectly said. It's just gonna be a very different thing. But that's what football is like, and the roster is meant to be upgraded, right? And we can't sit here and pretend that there's not better players out there, right?
So. 100%, 100%. I think football and really just professional sports in general. I mean, the
Absolutely.
NFL. One of my friends from work, shout out to my G Chase. He always jokes around how NFL stands for not for long, because you're there literally not for long. You might get that big money, you might get that big contract, but you're not there for long because there's always somebody else taking your job, more athletic, faster, can jump higher, can just do all these things that you can all younger. 100%. Very well said right there. All right. Julio Cascante, congrats on your call up to Costa Rica. Obviously, a lot of people in Austin are very proud of you, and you have haters in Austin, and I know he knows that very well. So some people want to see you fall, some people want to see you climb and fly high, and hopefully Cascante comes back to Austin and he flies high and keeps climbing. Right? Is that not what we want here, everybody here? Because that would make us better. That would make us want to win games. 100%, boys. All right.
Absolutely.
Now, we're going to roll into the Portland preview. Now, it's very interesting because Cascante is an ex-Portland player. We got him from the Portland B side in that, what was it, the expansion draft, right? Expansion draft when we picked him up, right? Yeah. But Portland, this is an important match coming up. It's going to be at home. We were talking about this game before we started recording because, low-key, I'm a bit worried. I don't want to say scared because I'm not scared of any team in MLS, but I'm worried. I'm worried. Tengo miedo. Tengo miedo. I don't know if y'all ever seen that meme, but tengo miedo. Okay, but I just said I'm not scared, but I just wanted to say that little meme because I think it's absolutely funny. But we're gonna play Portland. They're coming off of a win versus LAFC, 2-0. They draw against Seattle 2-2. They beat RSL 2-1. They lost against Vancouver 3-2, but you see some fight there, 3-2. They almost got that third goal. They were climbing back. Before the Vancouver game, they lost against Houston 5-0, which is the 5 goals that have us over them right now on the standings. But after that loss, they fired their coach Savarese, if I'm not mistaken. Football Critic can correct me on the pronunciation of that. Yeah. But they're on that new manager bounce. They're inspired. Portland is coming to Q2, wanting to continue the form that they're in right now. So I want to start off with my J Football Critic, mate. What does Austin FC have to do to beat this Portland team at Q2?
Well, it's what we were talking about. First of all, we gotta be defensively solid, right? We know one of the biggest weaknesses of late is set pieces, and to be honest, that's where I kind of I do wanna see Hedges and Leo together, right? Because I think those two. I think when when Julio and Hedges play together, they are too similar for my liking. They are both the same profile player, and I don't like that. I think that with Leo, I think Hedges gives that leadership and solidity in the defense, and Leo is that wild card, that faster CB that can help us in the run, right? So I want us to be that solid in the back line, not to give away such an easy goals because we're not paying attention. And then it becomes the problem that we have had all year, right? All season long is the creativity. Let's see what we can do. I gotta say, in those games of late, we have seen a little bit more with Emmy and Julios playing there, even though we got a goal stolen from us versus Seattle, it was a play that was created, right? There was something. It was a shot at goal. So I want to see more of that. I want to see the team trying more. If they want to try shooting from outside the box, do it. But just shoot at the goal, right? That's what I want to see tries.
It's a good point.
And like I said, just take good care of the wingers, because I think Portland is doing the most harm is through the wingers.
I mean, we saw what they did to LAFC. I mean, if you go back and you rewatch that game on Apple TV, or you can watch the highlights on YouTube. I mean, even the commentators were saying this is quality football. I mean, they were carving through LAFC like if it was just a regular MLS team. And we know what LAFC is. We know what kind of team they are whenever they come to Q2 and whenever we got to go to the bank or BMO, whatever it's called now. But Portland, I mean, this team looks a little bit scary coming into this game. Now, I did mention their recent form. I think it's important to mention our recent form as well in league play before we get to NEF. We tied against New England, obviously ring with that game-saving goal, I guess you could say, where we picked up a point on the road. A lot of people were talking about that game when that finished. Seattle beat us 2-1. We lost against Dallas 1-0. We remember that game. And then the 6-3 beating to St. Louis coming off of that Leagues Cup break. So we're not in the best of form. Feels like Portland maybe is. So, Nev, your thoughts on what we have to do in this game to win it?
Yes, so what we have to do to win is basically tomorrow afternoon, around noon, we see Austin FC send a little tweet saying, "Thank you, Josh Wolf." and then maybe we can get on that same boat that Portland is going on.
Or why don't the players do what New England is doing and just not show up to training if that's how you think they should do it?
Well, New England players are protesting for a whole lot of different reasons.
You're right. Keep going, Nev. Keep going. What do we got to do?
So, as in the previous episode, Eric and I you had asked us about what we thought we were going to get out of those games, right?
Yeah, I remember that take.
And it turns out me and Eric were being optimistic, saying we were going to get 3 points.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't see us getting 3 points. But if we're going to do it, it's going to have to be a whole reinventing of Wolf's tactics and a really inspired night by the players, because this Portland team, like you said, they're playing beautiful football at the moment, and they're wingers. I mean, they're tearing through defenses.
So I was looking at their top scorers of the MLS season so far in 2023. We have Evander. Let me pull that up real quick. I got them. So Evander has 7 goals. Frank Boli with 6. Dairon Asprilla has 5. Felipe Mora with 2. And the defender Juan Mosquera with 2 goals. Claudio Bravo, he scored against LAFC. He has 2 goals. But the thing that I see here is midfielder, forward. And then you get to the defender, he's number 5 in the top scorers for them. Now you go to Austin FC, I'm on SofaScore, midfielder Drusi with 8, forward Zardes with 6, and then we go to defender Gallagher with 5. Rigoni midfielder, Ethan Finley midfielder. So kind of similar list to what Portland had, but maybe not on the numbers. I'm thinking more of the positions that are scoring. That's kind of going back to what Football Critic was saying earlier, how he's looking at defenders not really to score, I guess you could say. But I want to get Eric's take on this because I know he's not the biggest Austin FC fan. He's not an Austin FC fan at all. But maybe you have an idea of what Austin FC has to do to beat Portland. Is there anything you'd like to share? I mean, Football Critic says we got to pretty much give a masterclass. Nev says this comes down to tactics. I mean, what can you add, Eric?
Just pray I don't get battered.
Oh, my
destroyed,
God.
Mauled, destroyed, giving nightmares. Another 6-2. I want it. A 6-0.
No.
How did y'all do whenever y'all came back from that one break? Y'all started winning or losing?
We lost against St. Louis 6-3, but that's St. Louis, first team in the West, different. Portland is a team we can take on. We were talking about the standings before the pod and how Portland is in 10th, if I'm not mistaken. Bringing that up real quick.
They're 11th. We're in
11th.
11th with you guys.
11th.
We're tied on points.
Thank you, boys. All right, we got the standings here real quick. Austin in 10th place with 33 points. Portland with 33 points as well. So this game, boys, on a scale of 1 to 10, just real quick, and give me your number only, starting off with you, Eric. On a scale of 1 to 10, based off the standings, where we are in the playoff race, I mean, 33 points tied apiece. We're fighting for that last place in the playoff spot right now, Portland and Austin. I mean, how important is this game 1 to 10? Because
10.
of everything going on. 10? Neff, number.
Every single game from here to decision day, it's a 10. There's no room for losing.
Finales, finals, every single game, final?
All of them. Every single one.
Tough. Football critic, your rating for the importance of this match coming up against Portland, what is it, mate?
100, 1,000, a million. I'm with Nev.
Absolutely.
Yeah, every single game from here on is a final. We gotta win absolutely every single one of them.
Okay.
Question.
I like that.
Question. How many games are left? 7?
I'm actually going to get into that right now. Portland against Austin, Sunday, September 17th at 7:30. That's 1. All right. New York Red Bulls away, Wednesday, September 20th. That's 2. Home against LA Galaxy and Diego Fagundes, Sunday, September 24th. That's 3. Colorado away. I'm going to be at that game. 4. Austin, DC United at home, October 4th. That's Brian's birthday. 5. LAFC at home, October 7th. 6. And then decision day, San Jose away, October 21st. 7 games left this season. So of those 7 games, how many points
It's a wrap.
should Austin FC look to getting? What'd you say, Neff? What'd you say?
It's a wrap.
Oh my God. Football critic, I'm going to just start off with you, mate. Come on, mate. Bring me
Out
home.
of the 7 games,
Yep.
21.
Oh, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
I mean, you asked what we
I'm
should
not even
get.
saying
No, we should get 21 points.
We should.
Yeah. I mean,
Included.
Nah, okay, come on, football critic. 21, bro, really?
hey, that's what we should get, not what we're gonna get.
Okay,
It's
what do we
different.
what do you think we're gonna get?
We're gonna get, oh my God, from 7. Let's say we somehow win 3, so that's 9. Maybe Taiwan 10. Let's say 10, 13.
10, 13?
And that's been generous.
That's very generous, football critic.
Yeah.
Very generous. Neff, how
Extreme.
many points? How many points, Neff?
Like if we get anything between 3 and 6, I'll be surprised. Because I don't know what 3 points, what 3 games are gonna win there. I
That is rough.
don't see what 3 games.
Look,
It's the truth.
before I go to Eric, Portland, I see a draw written all over that game. That's 1 point. New York Red Bulls
Okay.
on the road, that's got to be a
Wow.
dub, but New York Red Bulls plays really good football. You know, everybody knows them for that pressing. We could lose that game. Let's say we do lose that game, all right? I'm going to give that one the L. All right? That's still 1 point. LA Galaxy, we're beating them at home. Ain't no way we let Diego Fagundes and LA Galaxy come at our
Don't
house.
forget they're on a playoff push too.
Yeah, don't
right
forget that
behind
we're
us.
on the playoff push too. Just they're in the same scenario we are, bud. Okay?
Their form's better.
That's 4 points right there. Okay? Colorado,
Okay.
Austin, we're winning that game. Then Verde, the vibes are going to be high. And I don't mean anything by that. That's 7 points. That's 7 points right there. Okay? Austin, DC United at home, that's 10 points. Football Critic hits his mark at 10 points right there. Austin, LA. Austin, LA, I don't see us coming over on LA in that game. I think that they're a really good team, and it's going to be closing things out. So maybe they're already in a playoff position themselves, and they don't really care. We could snag a point in that match. 11 points right there, right? San Jose decision day, I think they're going to go all out on us. I think we cap out at 11 points.
And
11
let me tell you something, bro. Austin FC in its 3-year history has had 3 games against San Jose on my birthday,
Oh, I'm
which
very
is
aware.
October 21st.
I'm very aware our record against
And
San
you know
Jose.
what happened those 3 games?
We have not won.
They've embarrassed me. It's
sorry.
been the worst birthdays ever.
I'm sorry. We're going to make things different this year for you.
Now, look, prove me wrong. I would love
All
to
right.
be wrong, and I would love to see this team make a turnaround, but it seems more like a miracle at this point.
So, Football Critic, you ended up at 11 or 13 points, and you said that was being generous.
I said
My
10 to
10,
13. Yeah.
10 to 13. My calculations say 11. Eric, your final number.
A beautiful 4 or 7.
4 or 7. All right. Fair.
Just please stop with the hope. Please.
I have.
The hope. And end the season. End it.
I'm gonna end you. I'm gonna end you, brother. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. But all right, boys. Well, we really touched up on really almost everything for Austin FC. Maybe one more thing. America fans came into Q2, dropped smoke bombs. Their tifo said that they were owners of the capital. Football Critic, how does that make you feel? Does that piss you off as an Austin FC fan? Because to my knowledge, we're not supposed to have smoke bombs in there, and they didn't respect the rules. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe somebody can correct me on the rules. But Football Critic, did you feel maybe some type of way when you saw that?
Yeah, it made me feel, I wouldn't say envious, but like I want some of that at Q2 for us in FC.
Some of that culture.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. I want some of that, not so much like, don't get me wrong, I love the party at Q2, but I would like some aggressiveness from our fan culture, our support section towards the other team. And I don't mean insulting everyone's moms, no, but being intimidating, not just being a party.
Fair. Really good take. Now, Neff, this is something that you and I have touched up on back and forth this week. Now, the question I'm going to ask you, there was 16,000 fans at that game. I had uncles there. I had little cousins there. I had older cousins there that have never been to an Austin FC game. Well, actually, one of my little cousins, Mateo, he has been to an Austin FC game because I had to take him, and then he was hooked on it. He was like, hey, when can we go again? But I think he's low-key a little of a bad luck charm, but he doesn't need to know that. But my question for you, Neff, 16,000 fans. I bet maybe 5,000 of those fans have never been to an Austin FC game. That was their first time at Q2. How can Austin attract those Mexican fans and kind of add on to the culture like Football Critic wants at Q2? How can Austin FC do that?
It's not so much Austin FC because you can obviously bring a player like Hector Herrera type of like a Mexican player, right? So you can do
for
that.
sure.
But the Mexican fan is gonna be turned off instantly by all the party, and I will tell you this right now. There needs to be less party. Because
less party,
and
more
you'll see it. And that's not directed towards the players or the club itself. That's as a fan base, because the typical, and I can say that I'm a Mexican fan myself, and you can attest to it too. Mexican fans are more focused on the game. They want performance, right?
100%.
And a lot of what you see at Q2 is it's a lot of party. Of course, there's a little bit more football, but there is a lot of party. And I'm not saying it has to stop this or that because the cultures are different, but it's kind of where we go with the differences between Liga MX clubs or around the world compared to MLS, right?
Okay.
It's a lot less party than people think it is anywhere else in the world.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'll choose party over what happened in the Querétaro Atlas game. I'll tell you that.
Oh, absolutely.
Right now.
You're going from one side to right to the extreme of the other side. Right?
I'm just stating facts. I'm just stating facts. I do agree.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'd rather win games than just party and get drunk and throw beer.
Okay.
That's
I
it.
think what you're trying to say goes hand in hand with what Football Critic had said, and I think Football Critic said it very well. He wants some of that culture to be, inserted into the Q2 experience, but without offending anybody's mother, saying slurs or saying cuss words.
You don't have.
But you know what comes.
That's more so.
You know what comes with the Liga MX stadium atmosphere, mate. You've seen it on display.
Anywhere else in the world at night.
100%, 100%. But I'm just saying, you've seen how it can get sometimes in Liga MX. So let's not paint.
Yes,
Let's
and
not.
it can
Let's
get
not
like
paint
that in
it.
Europe
Let's
and
not paint
anywhere
it.
else.
Let's not paint it with makeup and make it seem like it's not the league that it is, because there are problems with it. We know that. We know that. But maybe
Yes, but
not.
so I'm not necessarily just directing to Liga MX. You can look at it, like I said, anywhere else in the world. You can look at Saudi, Qatar, Turkey, Spain, anywhere now. These type of atmospheres where it's passion driven towards the team,
Okay.
not towards just I'm gonna go have a good time.
Fair.
Yes,
Fair.
you pay
I
a
see what you're saying.
ticket,
I
it's
see what you're saying.
entertainment. You
I
know
see
what
what
I
you're
mean?
saying. Yeah,
But
I see what
this
you're
is towards this is how you make the team grow. Now, what the club has to do is show the Mexican fans, and not just the Mexican fans, just the fans in general, that actual ambition, right? Do what you say you're gonna do, and not just say one thing and do another.
saying. Okay.
That's what's gonna win them more fans, right?
Okay.
Actually
Fair.
acting.
Fair. That's a really good take. Now, I guess last but not least, my G Eric, anything you want to add on to what Football Critic and Neff had to say on the Club America and Tigres match that had some people talking?
Well, first and foremost, screw America. But they hit it on the nail. I'm not even a supporter. When I go to these matches, like, I get the part where you want to cheer your team on when they're losing, stuff like that. But these beer showers and this and that, when you're losing, your team has a terrible performance, and you're just there throwing beer, trying to have a great time. You're supposed to be so. When have you heard El Bernabeu going all crazy with Real Madrid fans when Real Madrid is losing? Name me one match have you seen this like that as a Real Madrid fan. Never. They're pissed at the fans. You have literally seen like Lyon or Marseille players go to the fans, and the fans speaking to the players. Why do we come here when you guys give these terrible performances? Terrible performances. You've seen AC Milan do it. But I come to the Q2 and I come to the Q2 with the mindset like, this is gonna be a party. It's gonna be a party no matter what. You guys concede and you're just a party. It's not if this stadium shuts up, these fans are gonna be like, whoa. It's silent. Whoa, we need to turn this up. We need to turn this stadium loud now. Because if you're at
Okay.
Hey, it's cool. We're tired. It's okay. We're losing. It's fine. The fans still love it. Mate, this is about passion. This is football. Passion.
All right. Fair. I think that's a solid take, I guess.
And I do wanna add a little thing to that.
Real quick, please, real quick.
And it's no disrespect to any of the supporter groups, but it's just a reality that when you're having the first season, it was whatever it was, right? But now we're in a situation probably worse than season one. And if we're trying to grow as a club and we're trying to grow a culture, you have to see that there's different aspects to it. You're not going to grow doing the same thing over and over and over again. You have to broaden the view.
Now, just to put a nail on this topic before we go into just one more quick conversation, something that people will push back on, because you all made great points. Adding things to the culture, being more open to get more maybe Mexican, Latino fans. I get that 100%, right? I mean, even Q2 would want more customers. Anthony Precourt would want more fans, more customers at the end of the day. But you guys say how you would want maybe the atmosphere to improve. Eric is saying how we need to focus more on results, less of the party. Neff, you say this is no disrespect to the supporters group. I think the supporters group deserve maybe a little bit more respect, because they've engineered, they've created an atmosphere that has been recognized in MLS by commentators, away fans, away teams. I think the supporters group deserve a bit more credit. And if this is no disrespect to you guys, right, to you three, but I think people that have been very critical of the Austin FC atmosphere do nothing to make it better but criticize. And I think if you support Austin FC and if you want to see the atmosphere improve, throw your like what's the word? Throw your try to contribute, try to bring something to the table, because I feel like with Austin FC we've seen a lot of criticism and no action in some fans. That's just my take. Write a song, make a chant, something. What can you do to improve the atmosphere if you're so critical on it? That's my take. Do y'all see where I'm coming from?
I got something.
Absolutely. I mean, I see where you're coming from. I think, and like I said, and I'll repeat it again, it is no disrespect to these groups, any of them by any means. And very proud of everybody, that has gotten recognized by the league, by everybody.
And
The thing is, like I
one
said,
more thing,
if you want to grow,
one thing, just real quick, the way that and I don't want to just talk out of my ass and not actually back it up. What I do with We're Austin TV, with Top Flight, what we're doing here is trying to add to that culture, to that atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? With the fan reactions. You know what I'm saying? That's my contribution to this community. So that's me and everybody involved with this operation. That's our push to make a great community for Austin FC. And we've gotten recognized by multiple people outside of Austin FC. But go ahead, Neff.
yeah, like, and that's amazing, and you've done an amazing job. You and the whole crew have done an amazing job with that. But what we have to realize is that sometimes, even though there's all that recognition and it's all of that, and it is amazing, you have to understand that sometimes the atmosphere is hiding what's really going on, right, with the club. And then
Yeah,
let alone
sure.
the access to these supporter groups, and how to, if I want to submit a song and stuff like that, I don't know that everybody or anybody knows how to go through that, so that could be a thing, right? So it's a lot that goes onto it, but at the end of the day, you have to look at your point of view and see, is what am I doing the only way to do it? Is there more that we can do? What is it that this group or this group we can do to make this an overall better experience, and not just that?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. There has been some conversations I know on the TL, whether the people have been right or wrong, but some people have been critical of the supporters group in Austin, saying that they're not as open-minded to other chances they would want them to be. I've heard that too. So let's not paint the picture
And it
also
might
that
be the case, but
I think people that want the atmosphere to be better, that want it to be something that something bigger, I guess, or whatever, I would love it if we can just come together one day and just bounce ideas off of one another instead of relying on one group of people to make the stadium bounce with energy and then complain later and say, "Oh, the supporter section was quiet today." Are you chanting? Are you singing? Are you doing your part to make it loud in that stadium? Do you know the chants? Do you take the time to learn the chants that we have? Yes or no? No? Okay, then our conversation is done.
I will say that, I guess, rather than the word better, I would say different. Because at the end of the day, when you're winning, this atmosphere is great. But when you're losing is when it maybe needs to be a little different, right?
Yeah, I see what you're
I
saying.
think
I see what you're saying.
that's where it goes on.
I do want to say this. I am very annoyed of the Macala Oh La La song. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I sing it when it comes on, but it is so annoying to me. Uh, it is what it is. I said my piece. My favorite chant is Dale, 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 ATX. That's my favorite one. But okay, boys. Bit of a long episode. We spent a little bit too much time on this America topic, but we did have to touch up on it because it had some feathers ruffled up at the Top Flight Podcast Studios when we're even on the screen, I guess you can say. But my uncles went to that. They've never been to an Austin FC game, and my uncles went to the America game, and they posted stories on WhatsApp saying, "Coming to see Papa." I was like, bruh, the disrespect. Do you not know how involved I am with Austin FC? I mean, the disrespect, bro. But boys, is there anything else we can add onto tonight's pod? Anything else?
Not
We're
much.
good?
Yep.
We're straight?
You guys go.
Huh?
Got any more news?
Oh, I just want to invite anybody to go to, if anybody that wants to join us this Sunday, to go watch the Real Madrid game against Sociedad
Yes.
at HubSpot.
Go, everybody. And also, real quick, everybody that's been reaching out, congratulating on Instagram and Twitter Thank you for the messages. I appreciate it a lot. I'm excited to share this next chapter of my life with everybody that listens to the pod, that's been keeping up with my life the last, 3 years we've known each other. I mean, literally the people on this podcast right now are relationships that I've built from We're Austin TV and Top Flight Pod. Like, we don't have Primo, we don't have Bali, we don't have B here tonight, but these are relationships that I've been building. So I'm excited for you guys to join me and the listeners out there and people that keep up with We're Austin TV and the fan reactions, for y'all to see me go into this next chapter of my life. And thank you, everybody, for the messages. Football Critic, you were very positive. Thank you so much for the words that you told me, the messages that you sent me last night. I take it with me to my heart, and I'm excited to be Team Dad. I'm fucking excited, dude. And more information is going to come out, like stuff on the gender, if it's going to be Project Mbappe, Project Alex Morgan. We'll see. Or maybe it's Project Lisa Leslie, a basketball player. I don't know. But I guess that's a good way to end the pod. Why are you pointing to the Manchester badge?
He just doesn't want you to make another Manchester United fan.
She's gonna be a Man United fan.
He or she will not be a Man United fan. He or she will be an Austin FC supporter through and through. Second generation. Their father is going to be a season ticket holder for life, and they're going to take my season ticket when I pass. That's the type of stuff I'm trying to build with Austin FC, mate.
Don't worry.
All right?
Are you betraying your true colors?
Don't worry.
We're going to go to the Bernabeu one day.
Her uncle or his uncle will teach them what Glory United is.
Man United might not even be a club when this human is of age to know what soccer is, because you guys are probably going to be liquidated by the Glazers. Honestly. I'm sorry.
Dad, my uncle's right. United is the greatest team in the world, bigger than Real Madrid.
When my child is 10, it is a big possibility that Man United will be a sporting brand and just clothing line.
Eric, you do realize that now Sir Alex Ferguson's time at United, it's considered old history, right?
They're still living off it.
It's been long enough. It's been long enough that you can no longer be prideful out of those victories and titles. Because no, man, you've been absolutely nothing in the last few years.
Neff is dying to say something.
Austin FC will not win nothing. Trust me.
Copa Tejas. We in it.
I think it's time for us to go.
All right. Okay. We're going to end the episode here tonight. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Shout out to the boys. We'll be back reviewing the Portland game. And we'll be back soon. Have a good night, everybody. Have a good morning. Drive safe. Have a good day at work. Feed your pets. And don't forget to call your parents. They miss you. Have a good night, everybody. And we will see you soon. Ciao.